Welcome back to Saints Franchise. We are live on twitch.tv/Bengal as always for these off-season streams. And this was a very interesting season number 2. We finished 9-8 in a highly competitive NFC East. You can see the NFC East trend rolled through every division. Highly competitive NFC North. We, of course, in the NFC South, had a chance to win the division, didn't quite do it. The NFC West was really the worst division of this conference, and they still at least had a 10-game winner, but every other division was just so good. The South was up for grabs. We just couldn't do it. Some of these games just ended up being too tough to win. You can see on the right side of the screen, DeAndre Hopkins has decided to retire, and that is going to be a big loss because he was good depth. We dealt with a lot of injuries at receiver, and he played a little bit, but kind of got phased out by Elijah Moore. But it's good to have that veteran presence. What we don't have is potentially our right tackle getting better through the offseason. Torn Peck, he was out at the end of the year. I think that hurt our chances of making the playoffs. When you're down a star right tackle, we couldn't quite run block as well. We had a big hole over on that side. But Taliesin Fuaga should be back for 2027. The Torn Peck will sideline him for maybe an extra 20 weeks from where we are now. But I'll show you the team update before we go over the stats, because there were some upgrades, such as Manu Escobar, the rookie tight end out of LSU, had an up and down season, but now he's got superstar development. Why is that? He won Offensive Rookie of the Year here for the NFC. He's unlocked a couple of ability slots, so I'm hoping that he's going to be even better. It really is historically very difficult for rookie tight ends to come out and produce at a really, really high level. So the fact that he was one of our main offensive threats, I think, is already pretty encouraging. And yeah, he wasn't perfect. He dropped the football. He wasn't always open. But he was a rookie tight end, and we just didn't really have a great passing game. Tyler Shuck, I'm not convinced, is the future of this team. But what alternative do we have? His deep accuracy definitely showed up. Wasn't really that good. And I think also the receivers could be better. Who's he throwing to? We'd like to see LaMichael Meekins develop clearly, but based on what we saw in his rookie season coming off the bench, he wasn't really that great, and he's got a long way to go from a development standpoint. Maybe he ends up helping us out at wide receiver, but the speed acceleration, not great there. We'll see what we have, but is he a lifetime backup? Spencer Rattler, of course, barely played. Didn't even throw the football, just got in and fumbled. LaMichael Meekins was taken in the top 50. The year before, Tyler Shuck was taken in the top 50. And maybe this year, we'll consider taking a quarterback in the top 50. There's no way to know. But unfortunately, the Alvin Kamara train may be getting retired pretty soon. Maybe taking its last ride and staying at the station permanently. He's down to an 80 overall at 32 years old. The progression history is not kind. He is regressing all over the place. And now you can see why we went out and traded for Bashal Tutin. Because Kamara, I still think, can be effective, but is he going to be as good as he has been? It's highly unlikely. Tutin averaged close to 7 yards a carry. Some of that was just because he had massive runs, huge long runs out of nowhere. He only had 61 attempts. So, small sample. LaMichael Meekins obviously ran the ball very well. And we didn't really have much of a receiving threat. Escobar, I guess, was number 1. Olave did finish with 13 touchdowns, but only 42 catches. Less than 40 yards a game. Right at that number, pretty much. So it was a little bit disappointing, but we couldn't really throw the ball. We'll see what 2027 looks like. Defensively, these guys were on the field a lot. So they were, accumulating a lot of numbers here. Is it good? Is it bad? It looks good, but they were on the field so much. 19 TFLs for Jalen Ford and Chase Young. Chase Young was fantastic. He looks like he can be a true difference maker, kind of the guy you thought you were drafting, years ago. And he won Defensive Rookie of the Year back with the Commanders, and then injuries really stalled his career out, but maybe getting pretty good again. 15 TFLs for Danny Stutzman, 13 for Carl Granderson. You can see the sack numbers here are just absolutely terrible. The only guy with above 5 sacks was Chase Young, and he didn't have 10. Only 5 for Clayton Kramer, but that's a pretty good rookie season for a 360-pound interior defensive lineman who has not really evolved yet as a pass rusher or even as a player. I really, really like that pickup. And then the secondary, nobody had more than 1 interception. We need to improve there. Free agency and potentially the draft will be very, very important. And speaking of the draft, this is the current mock draft. I have the Giants at number 1 overall, expected to take Chad Bueller. And is he a top 5 talent? He looks pretty good. A, finesse moves. B, power moves. He's an absolutely exceptional athlete. And that stuff does really, really matter. Elite to great, kind of like across the board. And he is explosive. Definitely created a lot of problems for Roger Patterson, who is potentially going to be a first-round pick in his own right, the quarterback from Colorado. So Chad Bueller is certainly somebody that looks like he is worth the first overall selection, and we'll see if that ends up being the case. We just took a look at Roger Patterson. We know that we need a quarterback. We know we do. But is Roger Patterson the answer at the position? It seems unlikely, especially with where we're going to be drafting. I'm not really sure we're going to be in line to take a quarterback. And is he even the best looking quarterback? C, short accuracy. C to D, medium accuracy. Yes, he's got A to B deep accuracy, great to good throw power. The athleticism is not exactly incredible. So this guy might be one of these overdrafted quarterbacks that isn't quite as good as the numbers may indicate and as the draft projection may indicate. So we'll see. We are currently picking at number 17. Now, whether or not we move up or down the board, of course, remains to be seen. We know we have a lot of needs. We do. The one thing I can confidently tell you we will not be drafting is tight end high in the draft. That really is the only position. And I guess across the offensive line as well, I feel pretty good. Could we consider a guard? Healthy Cesar Ruiz and Carlos Wesley, I feel pretty good about it. This was our first-round pick last year. A guard. And I thought he was great this year. I thought he played really, really well. And then, of course, when Fuaga comes back, this is a pretty good unit. Jordan Meredith has regressed a lot. But wide receiver, quarterback, maybe even running back in play. There really is only one running back worth considering high in the draft. I'm not sure we're going to be there. We need to upgrade the edge room. I do like linebacker. I do like defensive tackle, but we could consider one. And then cornerback, we definitely need to consider. No question. Kool-Aid McKinstry is up to superstar X Factor, but even with the development trade of Quincy Riley, he didn't play all that great. Deontay Boyd at corner didn't play all that great. He's a fantastic return man, but we have a lot of needs. We'll see which of those can be solved through free agency and which of those needs to be addressed in the draft. We might be very active because year 2 not making the playoffs is just not where I want to be. Season recap had the Packers beating the Chiefs 39-36 Super Bowl shootout where Jordan Love ended up winning Super Bowl MVP, but Patrick Mahomes captured regular season MVP. Cam Farrell of the Browns, their quarterback, we saw him. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, has Superstar Dev. The Colts grabbed Chuck Johnson. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year at defensive tackle. And look at Tyler Lockett winning Offensive Player of the Year. What? With the Broncos. Okay. Well, that's something. As we will simulate to the Phil Staff portion of this offseason. I'm going to tell you, I don't really think it's that important in the game. Now, maybe I'm sleeping on it, and our team could actually be much better if we were able to put more of a focus into our coaching staff. Maybe that's the thing that's holding us back right now. Obviously not the head coach, Sheen Dangus. I'm not the problem. It's everybody else. How can you improve as a coach? We stopped the run fine. We got to lock down the passing game. I think affecting quarterback timing in the pocket is the most important way to do that. Get after the quarterback. Easier said than done, but I have a few ideas in mind. Figure it out. Seriously, figure it out. You're a level 21 coach with 9% job security. We might put more of a focus on that in the future. Chris Olave is a free agent. We will be picking up the 5th year on Taliesin Fuaga. Alvin Kamara is a free agent. Kayshon Boutte, who played, is a free agent. And then Malik Mustafa. I wish it was Malik. It's apparently not. Malik Mustafa, Jordan Howden, Antonio Johnson. Those are 3 safeties that we're going to lose, probably. Isaiah Foskey. And then this is a good developmental left tackle, Parker Clancy. I think I'd like to bring him back. He's $6 million a year. Never mind. We do have money, but I just don't think he's worth that. And nobody is particularly excited about returning, by the way. Mustafa, I think, is a good special teamer and good backup safety. He's only 25 years old. I'm not willing to pay him a lot. And he is going to be hitting free agency. And we've got to make a hard decision about Alvin Kamara. He's looking for $4 million on a 1-year deal. He wants a franchise quarterback. I am interested in bringing Kamara back on a 1-year deal. $5 million overall. And Alvin Kamara will return to the Saints. He is regressing. He is far from the player he used to be. And even, far from the player that we saw even last season. Especially in season number 1. But I'd like for him to retire as a Saint. This, though, is the big one. He's 27 years old. He is asking for $25 million a year. A little under that. He wants to be a Saint. He has not been $25 million a year productive. But he is by far our best receiver. I think he's got some growth to do. And I think it's one of those cases of a receiver can only be as productive as the quarterback lets them be. Olave, I think, can be a monster. We'd like to bring him back. I'm thinking 5 years, $125 million total. I think that's a fair offer. Really, for both sides, we're paying the man big time. And hopefully we can find a quarterback to throw him the ball. Chris Olave is back on a 5-year extension. That's big. Boutte's becoming quite a nice player in real life. Here in Saints franchise, he has not been particularly impressive. I think we're going to get a different look in there. We can definitely expect a lot of new faces on this team in 2027. You don't necessarily want to say, hey, here's this 9-8 team in 2026. Let's run it back. I don't necessarily see that. Although, we are starting to get some combine reports here. Quarterback Bobby Richardson, a no-show, decides to skip the combine. But wide receiver Manny Chavez was a top performer. We know we're looking for a receiver. There have been some pretty good Arizona State receiving prospects in recent years. And Chavez is a true round 1 talent. A, catching traffic. B, catching. D, deep route running. C, release. These are not things that immediately look great, but he ran in the 4.4s with elite acceleration and elite jumping. And at that size, this could be a great wide receiver 2 in our offense. Maybe a jump ball guy. Maybe someone that can make an impact after the catch. He's got A, catching traffic. A, spin move. B, short route running. B, spectacular catch. He's even got A, kick return. Now, we have our returners, but I think it just kind of shows what type of ability this guy has. that he's got, 6'3", 200-pound size and can make an impact as a return man. Think about a Keon Coleman type of player. Could Manny Chavez be a good fit? Only 21 years old. And there are some decent receivers in this class. Eric Benedict is potentially another one to watch. He's got some really good speed. Only 5'9", but 193 pounds. Built pretty sturdy. B, catching traffic. B, catching. A, deep route running. B, release. And he's got fairly good speed, but not necessarily as good as you would want from a true deep threat. Ran in the high 4.4s. But could be a good fit. Great change of direction. Another guy that you could feel good about as a kick returner. And he plays above that 5'9" size with a spectacular catch. So there are some options at receiver. We'll see who we end up gravitating towards, if anybody. We might find better receivers in free agency that might end up being better fits. Trey Royster, cornerback, was apparently moving in slow motion out of Oklahoma. That would make sense. And Enrique Sheridan was apparently a wide receiver that had a pretty good combine. Josh Nance, stock up. NC State quarterback, apparently impressed coaches in the interviews. And Eric Benedict showed up overweight to the combine. 5'9", he's getting close to 200 pounds. That's built pretty sturdy. So these are definitely some important things to watch as we will check out free agency for the first time. Brian Branch is available. 15 teams are interested. And you can call it 16. I'm interested as well. We'd find a spot for him. Tyler Smith at left guard. Not really a big need. Marlon Humphrey, DeForest Buckner. Trenton Simpson has superstar X Factor now. Okay. That is interesting. That is very interesting. We don't necessarily need linebacker. But an X Factor at 26 years old with this type of athleticism and speed overall is intriguing. He's one to watch for sure. Doesn't really have a lot of interest in playing for us. But this is another really interesting player. J-Mo. Jamison Williams, 26 years old, and would definitely satisfy as a deep threat. 98 speed, 96 acceleration, decent route running, decent overall catching, and is elite with the football. He would definitely be helpful for our offense. Of the available quarterbacks, we could create some more competition with bringing in an Anthony Richardson or a Justin Fields. But I feel like we kind of have a bridge quarterback. They're already on the roster. Tyler Shuck is a bridge quarterback. LaMichael Meekins could be a bridge QB. Are any of these guys significant upgrades? Athleticism-wise, yes. Will Levis, of course, always a fan favorite. Famous Jameis. But I'm not sure they're great fits. I feel pretty good about what we have at running back. Dontavian Wicks is here. Not exactly a big speed threat, but someone who could be able to get open and make catches in traffic. That's an option. Ricky Pearsall is here. Slick Rick. Another Arizona State receiver, even though he transferred, of course, to Florida. Not sure he looks especially amazing, but is one of the top receivers available. Quentin Johnston. Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is actually quite intriguing. He's got decent catching. He's got decent speed. And we have money, by the way. $90 million in available cap room. Of course, really ignoring tight end, really ignoring the offensive line. Off the edge, Keon White. Could be somebody that helps us out. Big-time power move guy. Decent athlete. Kind of flexibility across the D-line. Will McDonald as a speed rusher, but is 28 years old. What is the ceiling there? Herbig might be our best option. He's actually quite a good player in real life. I'm not sure the attributes reflected in the game. So left edge, not sure we're finding the upgrade we want there. Defensive tackle, I like what we have unless we were going to upgrade with DeForest Buckner, which we could consider. He's got no offers right now. Lucas Van Ness is somewhat interesting. He's playing up to 91 power moves, 86 speed, 91 acceleration. Block shed and tackle are both quite good. LVN could be kind of a sneaky find. Onyedika Uzama, I'm not that interested in. He's just like totally fine. BJ Ojulari, maybe? Bring him back to the boot. He's got very good speed, good finesse moves. I don't know. At the Sam linebacker, there's not a lot here. Mike, again, I feel pretty good about our linebackers, but Trenton Simpson is different. Omar Spates, could bring him back to Louisiana as well. Not bad. And then at corner, just not sure we're seeing what we want to from this position. If we were going to get a DB, it would be backing up the Brinks truck for Brian Branch, giving him everything we have. Those are our options. The first offer is going to Jameson Williams. I think he's got game-breaking speed. I think he would be a really, really good fit. He's 26 years old. Could still look to draft a receiver. It's such a big need for us, but I think he would truly be a game changer. He doesn't really want to be here. What does that mean? We will need to pay him. But we just paid Olave $25 million a year. Jameson Williams is significantly cheaper with the potential to be more impactful than Olave and would really space out the field. This would be my first offer. And where would that put us with everybody else? We would have the best offer right now. And I'd probably just keep that as it is. I think that's a really good offer. We're paying him a few million more than what he's expecting to make. But that would be very good. Trade Olave. No. We just extended him 5 minutes ago. And is there a law where you can only have one receiver? We're going to give whoever's playing quarterback for us the best weapons that they can possibly get. And Brian Branch is such a difference maker in the secondary. I want to find a spot for him. I am very willing to overpay Brian Branch. And an overpay is only an overpay if they're not that good. If they can be a great player in our secondary, I think Brian Branch is worth, 22 and a half, 23 million per year on average over 5. We have the money. We saved money for a player like this. Why pass on the opportunity to at least offer, even though the motivations don't necessarily line up? And I really can't afford to go much more than that. Washington currently has the best offer. I can make it maybe a little bit more attractive. But this would kind of be the top of the line for me. That's 5 years, $120 million. That's about the best I can do. It's just the motivations do not align. And that's currently our bad spot. Of the players that are most interested in playing for us, Jair Brown, but we have Justin Reed, we have Jonas Sanker. The only reason we'd bring in another defensive back, at least, a safety type, safety slash nickel, is to upgrade in a big way. I don't think Jair Brown is an upgrade in a big way. So seeing the other available players could bring Devon Godshaw back to New Orleans or back to Louisiana, but I don't really see that. Michael Carter's an option in the slot. Justin Fields wants a chance. I'm not paying him $30 million a year. You guys got to understand. You got to understand how expensive a quarterback is, and if they're not an upgrade over Tyler Shuck or LaMichael Meekins, it really is not worth competing in the $25 to $32 million range. It isn't. So we'll see what else is out there. We're going to make 5 offers in this first period for sure. We've put in an offer for Lucas Van Ness. Might consider drafting an edge rusher. He looks quite good, and the potential is quite good. But it may be tough to compete with Philadelphia. Maybe a 3-year deal. We still have $40 million left in available salary cap. He would be a nice addition to the room, and we could potentially move him around our front. That's an option. And then I'm thinking about drafting a wide receiver. We could consider a backup interior offensive lineman or maybe even a tackle. I mean, Trevor Penning's out there. Wanye Morris maybe is a backup worth $7 million a year. In the short term, maybe 2-year, $7 million deal on Wanye Morris. Could try that. That's currently the number 1 offer. At running back, I think we could consider drafting one. Could bring Cam Akers back. I don't really know that I want anybody in here. And then, man, I feel like we should offer Trenton Simpson. It's $10 million a year. He wants a big contract, though. It is an upgrade. I'm thinking more of a 2-year deal for Trenton Simpson. We'll see how he likes that. Doesn't seem like very, but that's going to be our initial offer. Maybe 3 years. And up the money a little bit. And we'll see where that puts us. Not really interested in a super long-term deal. But we'll see. Again, I like where we are with linebacker, but these will be the initial 5 that we go after. I think we're in a really good spot to land Jamison Williams. And maybe even Lucas Van Ness. Brian Branch, I think, is likely a commander. And Trenton Simpson is a huge wild card right now. Huge wild card. But, again, I feel good about linebacker. Do I want to allocate, like, $50 million to Trenton Simpson? I don't know. So we're going to have that initial offer, and we're going to see where we are in year 2. Because we're down to $21.5 million in salary cap room. That's what I feel comfortable with offering right now. And we will evaluate these offers, and 4 have made decisions. We end up with 1. However, it is a big one. Jamison Williams from Alabama and Ohio State and the Lions has joined this Saints receiving corps. So much speed to add to the offense. Should be able to really space out the field and win deep down the field if we can get him the football. The contract is 4 years, $34 million in total salary, $34 million in total bonus, for a cap hit of $15.5 million a year. It really doesn't look too bad. Really doesn't look too bad. So if he can have a final stat line on the season of, 700 plus yards for us and 5 plus touchdowns, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. Something like this 2025 season for Detroit. But we still need to figure out quarterback. Brian Branch is an Eagle. Tyler Smith is a Cardinal. Somebody said not getting him was a mistake. Are we going to pay him $20 million a year when we just drafted a left guard in the first round last year? Is this your first episode of Saints franchise? Maybe. I don't know. But would have been nice to get some of the other players. Trenton Simpson's a Ram. Lucas Van Ness is also an Eagle. Trey Tucker is an Eagle. They spent a lot of money. Okay, let's reevaluate. Apparently, we're a Super Bowl contender, by the way. You know what? I like that. We need some depth at corner. Keely Ringo has really good size and speed. Something to develop there for sure. We need backup safeties. Like, Mustafa is an option. Obviously, we could bring him back. And hopefully cheaper than what he declined already. Because he's a fool. We signed him off the practice squad. Marte Mapu. Marte Mapu's actually quite interesting. It's like a hybrid linebacker. Think like this is Pete Warner. But he looks a little different. I'd be down for a 2-year deal for Marte Mapu. And then I'm really looking for maybe one more pass rusher. I think BJ Ojulari's the guy. He's cheaper than Van Ness. He wants to be here. He's not getting a ton of interest right now. I think BJ Ojulari is kind of a fun option. The Chargers want to overpay and outpay what we're offering. For 2 years, I'm more than comfortable with this. Yeah, he's a rotational pass rusher maybe, but we're trying to develop him. There's no telling what we're going to be able to do in the draft. Let's offer BJ Ojulari. It's only a 2-year deal, so we're not tied down. But we'll see where that puts us. So some decisions have been made. We do sign BJ Ojulari, Wanye Morris, and Keely Ringo. I know they're not the most exciting signings, but it's good depth, players we can potentially develop, and players that are cheap, enabling us to potentially make a splash through the trade market. These are options. See if we can get Mapu and Mustafa as well. They're still deciding. Combine results are out. We have seen the stories. Let's see if any of these top talents are top 5 talents. We don't know about any of them yet. We do know about a lot of round 1 talents, though, which I feel pretty good about. Let's check out who some of the top times were. At quarterback, no one was like particularly fast, but some of the top 5 QBs have pretty good speed. At running back, Walt McCoy ran a 4.39, has A, ball carrier vision, B, carrying. Speed apparently is only good, but he ran a 4.39. 5'10", 230, B, trucking. That's a very interesting player. That's certainly intriguing. Now, I have Peter Hurd watched because I remember there being a story about him. He looks awful. I heard he was awful, and now I'm seeing it, unfortunately. At wide receiver, we have Enrique Sheridan, Sal Jimenez, and Jermaine Norman running 4.31. Jimenez and Sheridan can play. Norman looks like a pretty big project with UDFA potential. But Cordell Nelson also ran 4.33. B, catching traffic, C, catching, B, deep route running, C, release. He's got elite acceleration and elite agility. Another guy that can return kicks. Unfortunately, his medium route running is just positively dreadful. But he's got good speed. He's well-rounded. I don't know. That speed, I guess, would have to carry. I guess he'd be playing a lot in the slot. But he's got some unique ability. Cordell Nelson could be a name to watch at the back end of the first round, maybe. Not going to necessarily commit to that, but with this type of speed, he's got the potential to be a dynamic difference maker, and speed is the name of the game. Got Jamison Williams to space out the field. Getting somebody else that's tough for defenses to handle, I think, would not be the worst option. So somebody to consider. Tight end, we're obviously not really heavily considering, but Lamar Davenport from UCF ran a 4.5. It's quite good. He looks like he could be a pretty good prospect. Again, not really heavily considering anything on the offensive line, but I mean, these guys running sub-5 and are expected to go undrafted catches my eye, if nothing else. So something to think about, but you know, nothing we would really take super high in the draft, of course. Off the edge, no one like that impressive. Although Bob Davis is a round 1 talent, he's expected to go in the top 10. We'll see if that ends up happening. Off the right side, Nate Kovacs with a 4.64 round 1 talent. He's got A finesse moves, B tackle. We know we want to improve off the edge. He's got great speed, great change of direction, solid strength. I'll tell you the thing about Nate Kovacs. This guy is a psycho. He is absolutely twitched up, juiced up off the edge. And he's going to talk a little bit as well. He's going to let you know. So that's the type of dog we want on our defensive line. We know it's a position of need as he brutally attacks the quarterback. And I'm telling you, that could be something to add. We know we want to improve the pass rush. This could be a way to do it. But we may have to trade up to make that happen. That's the only problem. There's also another Clemson defensive end, Cecil Harvey. Could be an upgrade as well. At defensive tackle, Chad Bueller. We've talked about him. We know what he can do. He ran 4.69. Although DeAndre Highsmith with a 4.75. I mean, they need to rework defensive tackle athleticism because some of these times are just ridiculous. Although DeAndre Highsmith, way down the board, could be good value. Could be. I mean, some of these linebackers need to be more athletic than the defensive tackles. They are, but only slightly. Not really heavily considering linebacker, but maybe on day 3 we get a good athlete. Jaron Hammond, A zone coverage, B tackling. Very, very good athlete. Again, maybe down the board. Something to consider. And I absolutely will consider corner. Jordan Drake ran a 4.38 at 6'2". Will Thornhill ran a 4.4 flat. There's more to, playing corner than just speed, but it certainly helps. Certainly helps. And then safety, there's no USC 99 hit power strong safety in this class, so I don't really know what we would do. But I'm liking the idea of targeting great athletes on day 3 and just seeing what we get. I don't really mind that. But it's about time to, see what we're going to have here in the draft, set our focus players, and see who's going to be joining this team. So, mock draft 5 is here. Again, we don't pick for a little bit. But some of the players that I would like to target are expected to go kind of high. So we find ourselves in a bit of a tough spot. There are some really good players here that could really help us out. But picking at number 17, I don't know why in the world we'd ever take a left tackle. But that's apparently where they think we're going to go. Not really exactly sure the best way to go about it. But we may have to trade around the board, jump into the top 10. These are options for sure. The fact that we've yet to identify a top 5 talent is a little bit frustrating. I'm not exactly sure where we would find those guys. Region breakdown says the strengths of the class are quarterback, defensive tackle, and wide receiver. And wide receivers got some talent, but nobody in the top 5. I don't know why this sorts like this. And then quarterback, none of these guys really looked all that good. Dalvin Edison from Oregon State, I think, has the best overall accuracy with great throw power and pretty good mobility. Dalvin Edison could be the guy at QB. That's initially the one that stands out. Sam Paulson has A awareness, but the accuracy looks pretty horrendous. Lester Bowers also is an option. I mean, you need to be able to throw the ball at quarterback. Need to be able to. Mike Brackett looks like a check down king. Limited mobility. But we know we need the position. So we'll see. What I'm seeing here is Jalen Doolittle is apparently doing a lot. Texas Tech Mike linebacker stood out at his pro day this week. Those are names to watch. Maybe not every time, but those guys can end up being quite good. He looks just awful. Might be worth a day 3 pick with a dev trait, but looks really bad. I want to see where Dalvin Edison is expected to go here. He's going to replace Bryce Young in the top 10. I mean, you're going to see quarterbacks fly off the board here. There are a lot in this class. If we want one, we would need to trade up. It's an interesting situation. Donnell Barkley, we might not consider at running back. But focus scouting is going to be really important. I need to find out some true talent levels on these players. As we will once again check out free agency and maybe for the final time. We do bring in Malik Mustafa. I think we're probably about done with depth signings. You can probably never have enough offensive linemen. We could consider drafting some down the board or signing some at a free agency if it's a real need after the draft. But for right now, I think we're okay. I would like to add a receiver. Maybe we accomplish that via trade. Maybe it happens in the draft. But I don't know what our draft is going to look like because I'm really not sure what picks we're potentially going to have to give away. And that complicates things. So our focus players will be 2 quarterbacks and a running back. We're going to do Dalvin Edison, the quarterback from Oregon State. Lester Bowers, the quarterback from Mississippi State. And then Walt McCoy, a 4.3 speed running back from Arizona, who's 5'10", 230. Definitely an interesting archetype. And we're going to head to the draft as Kalen Bullock gets traded. Okay, so we know the way that this draft is likely to go. If you look at the mock drafts here, Chad Bueller will be the first pick. Lester Bowers is a round 2 to 3 talent. Now, that does matter less at quarterback because quarterback overalls are lower. But we can confidently put him somewhere in the low to maybe mid-70s at the best. He's got generally pretty good accuracy, a throw in the run, a throw under pressure, a break sack, good throw power, decent overall athleticism. Do we trade up to 4 to get him? Dalvin Edison is also a round 2 to 3 talent. He's got great throw power. Again, quite good speed. And the best overall accuracy down the field at least. But again, is that worth a trade up to the top of the draft there? We're at 17. We'd have to move up to 7 or maybe even higher. And we'd have to sacrifice picks to do so. Decisions. We've certainly got to make them. We'll check out the running back as well. He's a round 1 to 2 talent. Yeah, it looks like quite a good player. I don't know if we're going to be in a position to draft him. If you remember, these are our picks. 17, 49, 81. We are missing a 4 and a 5. And we are projected a top 10 pick in 2028. This may be gone in the not too distant future. Let's start the NFL draft. Here we go.
Welcome to the NFL draft.
What can we come away with? Giants on the clock at number 1. Everyone expecting them to take UCF defensive tackle Chad Bueller. Will that be the pick? Survey says Chad Bueller. I don't like how you see it pop up before the commissioner comes up, but that's the case. He is a game-wrecking interior defensive lineman with elite speed, elite get-off, and is certainly worthy of the first overall selection here. I think it goes to show that you don't necessarily need sacks to be worth the pick here when you have this type of disruption. The quarterback was in hell, and that is Roger Patterson, who may very well be the second pick in the draft here. The Dolphins are on the clock, and that's exactly the selection. Roger Patterson is headed to Miami. The first quarterback domino has fallen. What will this mean for the rest of the quarterbacks? We know where some are expected to go. The Colts lost Anthony Richardson. Daniel Jones is not there. Will Roger Patterson be the guy? He was highly productive, but are the tools really good enough to be worthy of the first quarterback off the board, the second overall pick? Does he have the NFL arm? Does he have the mobility? Is he worth a top 2 pick? Well, only time will tell, because this looks like an NFL throw. Maybe a little bit late, a little bit behind the receiver, but a touchdown nonetheless. Seahawks on the board at 3. They go with a defensive tackle as well. That's 2 in the top 3. This is Utah's Willie Campbell. Willie Campbell is kind of more of a nose, but has some surprising quickness. Definitely can get to the quarterback, but I think most of his impact really stands out as a run defender. But you got to be careful if you're the quarterback. He's got sneaky speed. He can surprise you. He's well over 320 pounds. But he moves like he's sub 300. Seahawks with a defensive tackle out of Utah here at number 3. Colts at number 4. We expect this to be a quarterback. Is this Lester Bowers? Do we want to make a call? Are we moving up for a quarterback? Lester Bowers from Mississippi State. He's got good general accuracy. The overall is maybe not the best ever. Is he another LaMichael Meekins type? I think we're going to roll the dice and see what the Indianapolis Colts do at number 4. It is Lester Bowers from Mississippi State. He will not be playing quarterback for the Saints in 2027. He doesn't have elite speed, but he certainly is a scrambler type, is capable of making big plays with his legs, and he doesn't quite have the arm that Anthony Richardson had. But Lester Bowers is somebody that can absolutely hurt you with his legs. He's got good general accuracy. You'd think he's kind of a high floor player despite only rounded, 2 to 3 talent based on our evaluation. But that is a really good throw under pressure. He knew he was going to take a shot, didn't matter. Delivered a strike. Jags at number 5. Eddie Herrera, another defensive tackle off the board. They are absolutely flying off the board. Eddie Herrera is the third defensive tackle in the top 5. Jags looking to beef up the trenches with big number 7. And that is a star standout number for the LSU defense. And he certainly made that very, very known, as he is a top 5 pick in the draft. Patriots at number 6. This is an interesting spot here. I don't know. We may make some calls and see if we can acquire this pick. So as always with these suggested trades, the initial asking price is quite high. But we're certainly not trading Chris Olave, and we're certainly not giving up, an entire draft class. How far does 17 get us? How close? It's very, very close. 17 can almost get us 6. We know we have a top 10 projected pick next year. I'd potentially be willing to part with that if I can get 38 back this year. And we are getting close. The Patriots are looking for a defensive tackle, a weak side linebacker, a guard, and a receiver. Elijah Moore's got a couple years left on his deal. We kind of just upgraded him. Does Elijah Moore put this over the top? It does. We have traded up to number 6 in the draft. It's a first-round pick this year and next year. And Elijah Moore for number 6 and number 38. I'm hoping to take a big jump next year. But could that pick end up being a top 10 pick? Did we just trade our future to try to go all in year 3? We're going to find out. This is quite a spot. We could draft our future franchise quarterback. Dalvin Edison, improviser type from Oregon State, has A, deep accuracy, medium's a bit questionable, A, short accuracy, A, throw under pressure. He's got pretty good speed. A, throw on the run. We know the overall is not great. But could he be the future for our team? Is he a big enough upgrade over Tyler Shuck and LaMichael Meekins? Could we take one of the Clemson edge rushers? Nate Kovacs is a good player. 6'3", 261, 22 years old out of Clemson. Yeah, some do call him Nate Kovacs. He looked like he was on something at Clemson this past season. And I mean this, by the way. I don't know what you guys were thinking about. B tackling. He's got great speed. Ran 4.58 at his pro day. Great agility, great change of direction, great jumping. He's a round 1 talent. Could we consider a receiver with this pick? Manny Chavez, playmaker from Arizona State. Won't drop the football. Could be a power slot for us. Ran 4.4 flat at his pro day. Elite acceleration, elite jumping. This is a pick that changes the direction of this franchise. We have Tyler Shuck and LaMichael Meekins at quarterback. Both former top 50 selections. We have Carl Granderson, who's 30 off the edge. Joseph Osai, Fadil Diggs as backups, and of course Chase Young. Has been quite a good player for us. But I think we are stuck currently in quarterback purgatory. I do not think Tyler Shuck or LaMichael Meekins are capable of taking big enough steps to become franchise-level QBs. We are going for the higher potential. We are reaching down the board at quarterback. He's only 21 years old. He has great accuracy down the field. He's got great accuracy under pressure. He's got great accuracy on the run. And he is electric. Dalvin Edison from Oregon State is the selection. Welcome to New Orleans. He should have a bigger arm than LaMichael Meekins, with decent mobility and hopefully the accuracy to bring us to the playoffs and beyond. Dalvin Edison is our pick. He's ranked at number 55. We got him at number 6. He makes tough throws look easy. Will stand in and deliver under pressure. Maintains accuracy when throwing on the run. He has hidden development. 92 throw power, 88 change of direction, 84 agility, 87 acceleration, and surprisingly good speed at 83 speed. We saw what he could do this past season playing in the minute Pac-12 at Oregon State, but he's got a great deep ball. He can run when he needs to. He can buy time. He's good under pressure. But hopefully with our offensive line, we don't need to worry about that too much. We have an offensive line that's developing in pass pro. They're great when run blocking. And he's going to have to pick a new jersey number. He will not be wearing number 9. Dalvin Edison is the pick. Panthers at 7. Take a quarterback. Sam Paulson is the selection. Quarterback. And he's already wearing the Carolina blue. He knew. They called him before the draft. They said, you're going to be a Panther. And he said, I guess, if I have to. And he's got a pretty good arm as well. He's one of these strong arm type guys. You worry a little bit about the accuracy, but he can certainly rifle it in there. And you wonder, did they prefer Dalvin Edison? Did they have their light bulbs ready? In the chat. Sam Paulson is the pick. And here's what I worry about. He throws a touchdown. Does he celebrate with his team? Is this guy a team leader? Jogs to the sideline by himself. Did anyone go to his birthday party? That's what I wonder about. Browns at 8. Bob Davis. It's an edge rusher, but not the one we expected to go off the board. Bob Davis. What a throwback. Honestly, I don't want to make assessments here during the draft, but this seems like classic Browns, man. This seems like classic Browns. Raiders at number 9. Josh Nance. It's another quarterback. The quarterback trend continues. Did the Raiders get their guy? Finally. They've been trying. And Josh Nance is good. Josh Nance is another quarterback with a big-time arm. The question is, have we seen this story before? Is Josh Nance I don't know, another Jamarcus Russell? Food for thought. Definitely something I'd be worried about. But, completely different players. You don't want to make comparisons like that. just because he's got a strong arm and he's a quarterback to the Raiders. Oh, he's going to be completely awful, doesn't study the playbook, only throws a deep ball. This one even gets dropped, but the placement was fantastic. But will that RPO offense translate? Vikings on the clock at 10. What are the Vikings considering here? Something on the offensive line maybe, or an edge rusher. Seems like it probably would be an edge rusher, maybe one of the Clemson guys. Let's see what the Vikings do at 10. It's Eric Pryor, another defensive tackle off the board. Very interesting. Eric Pryor is your final pick of the top 10. Bucks at 11. DeMar Beasley. And there's no podium visit here for the Texas cornerback. Seems like a little weird. Okay. We got some highlights ready for him. The Bucks go out. They grab a really talented corner. Great ball skills. Was arguably the best corner in the draft. He's the first corner off the board. And he is locked down in coverage. Could be a good fit here for Tampa. DeMar Beasley. No commissioner. They just say, whatever. You've seen it enough times at this point. See what the Chargers do at 12. It's Jonathan Adams, back-to-back corners. Absolutely flying off the board. And yes, this is a small school corner. Ohio is not exactly playing Ohio State, every week. But Jonathan Adams, although a small school player, is a big-time player. This was a game where he came away with 3 interceptions. The ball skills are absolutely elite. He's got very good size in general. And he is a top pick in this draft for a reason. He's a really good player. Rams at 13. Go with Will Thornhill, cornerback out of Stanford. The corners are absolutely flying off the board. Will Thornhill sets up the Titans at 14. And we are going to be making a move here. Justin Reed, a second-round pick this year, and 2 5s. Gets a first-round pick and a 4th next year back from Tennessee. We have moved back into the first round. And yes, we are taking the psycho. Nate Kovacs will be a Saint. It took a lot to get it done. We've traded Justin Reed. He's 30 years old in the final year of his contract. The Titans were looking to upgrade their secondary. So we've traded a big-time player here on an expiring contract to hopefully upgrade the pass rush. And Nate Kovacs will be that guy. He's ranked at number 11. We got him at 14. Speed moves will stress offensive linemen, but he's got to hit the weight room. I don't know that that's necessarily going to be a big problem. We also want to see more of him in the run game, but the pass rush ability is absolutely no joke. We know he's a first-round talent. We know he's completely insane. And what more do you want off the edge than that? He's going to need some development, but he is twitched up, and he hopefully will make a big impact for us off the edge. Excited to see what he can be. He's got hidden development. 82 strength, 84 speed, 83 acceleration, 83 agility. Seems like a very solid player. I wonder what the potential ends up being, but Nate Kovacs is our guy off the edge. Cardinals at 15. Go Cecil Harvey. So I think we needed to make that move. Harvey, of course, played edge rusher at Clemson. He was on that other side also wreaking havoc, and it's back-to-back Clemson edge rushers. I mean, they've had some great defensive lines over the years. Of course, Cleveland Ferrell was a top 5 pick. Miles Murphy was a first rounder. All the great interior defensive linemen. Vic Beasley was a first round pick off the edge as well. And while Cecil Harvey is not quite Nate Kovacs, in my opinion, he's a good player. Ravens at 16, Enrique Sheridan. That is your first wide receiver off the board. We had not seen many of these guys go, but Enrique Sheridan from Oklahoma is the first receiver off the board. Check out this amazing highlight against Kent State, because Oklahoma only schedules bums. Or somebody said that, I think. I'm just saying what I heard. I don't know. But another weapon for Lamar Jackson. See if Enrique Sheridan has the talent to become a star in this league. Good threat down the field. Patriots at 17. Does Drake May get a weapon? Gets a tackle. Colt Alexander. Probably moving over to that right side, as it's back-to-back left tackles. Starting to see a run of those. Darren Mayberry to Philadelphia. And the Bengals take a running back. Adrian Gutierrez is the first back off the board. He's a power back, but he's got decent speed. He's probably not going to make you miss, but he will go through you. The Bengals avoid upgrading their defense, their offensive line, for a running back. It's Adrian Gutierrez, and he's got a bit of a mean streak. What are you doing? Falcons on the board at 20. It's Manny Chavez. Maybe the best receiver in this class. Manny Chavez is 6'3", 200 pounds, but runs like he's much lighter. He's got great hands, great ability to catch the ball in traffic. He's great after the catch as well. This probably could have been the first receiver off the board, but lasts here until the 20th overall pick. But I'll tell you, there have been some good players, good receivers drafted around there. Jackson Smith and Jigba is the most recent standout. Manny Chavez continues the trend of only skill position players to Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix, Drake London. Now Manny Chavez. Commanders at 21 take a big-bodied tight end out of Georgia, and this might be a freak. Manny Moreno. No relation to Noshawn Moreno, formerly a Georgia player as well, but he is a monster. Maybe the next great Georgia tight end. We saw a bunch of great tight ends enter the NFL last season. I hope, got one of them in Manu Escobar. Carolina, Atlanta already had one, and Tampa Bay came away with great tight ends as well. So there have been an influx of fantastic tight ends to enter the NFL recently. Manny Moreno might be the next one. Texans at 22 take left guard Cardarius Young. Steelers at 23 go with the tackle Justin Batten, trying to get more time for their quarterback. Of course, one that we considered drafting last year. Kyle Coles is the first linebacker off the board. The Bears go with White Lightning. Didn't have a great offseason, but the tape is good. Showed up to the combine overweight. Is not maybe as fast as the tape would show, but Eric Benedict is a first-round pick. The Bears also can't have enough skill players as well. Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore. Add Eric Benedict to the receiving core. We already know about Colston Loveland. Benedict is an interesting talent here. We'll see what the Bears make out of him. He's got good ability, but it was a concerning report. And showing up to the combine overweight is never really a good sign. Jets go with center Dale Foster. You thought the offensive line was already a strength, but I guess Joe Tippmann needs to be upgraded. Dale Foster's a pretty good player. Bills take another center, Alfonso Hooks. Lions go with Danny Barton. We've been looking for them to take that edge rusher for a while now after Aiden Hutchinson. And Danny Barton from Oregon ends up being the guy. So we've seen two of the last 4 picks be Oregon players here in the first round. Barton's definitely fun. Good against the run. More of a power rusher than a speed rusher. But that is a big hit. And maybe that one play for the safety put him in the first round. Niners go with a defensive tackle. Another here in this first round. Billy Pine. The Broncos with Lamar Davenport. That is a fun player. We'll see what his future has in store. Chiefs with Hunter Parks. Ever trying to upgrade their offensive line. And the first pick here for the Packers is the last pick of the first round. Super Bowl champs go with Jeremiah Young. As we are into round 2. We have the 38th pick. And this is currently what the board looks like. Mick Scharf is available. Joey Valdez could be an interesting safety. Safety has become a need for us all of a sudden. I don't know if you guys have realized, but we just traded one away. We traded our starting strong safety away. Justin Reed on an expiring deal is now a Tennessee Titan. And we don't really have a great backup plan. Malik Mustafa currently would be a starter. But I don't know that any of these safeties are worth trading up for. Of course, could consider a running back. Maybe Jaron Hammond goes to play strong safety. He's got good speed, A-zone coverage. But that's for a linebacker. Be a big safety, but it's an idea. So the Giants take a tight end, Ben Cody, at number 33. Really good tight end class. And there goes Jaron Hammond. He is a Miami Dolphin. Seahawks at 35 go with quarterback Mick Scharf. You were wondering when he was going to go off the board. The Michigan State quarterback is headed to Seattle. They didn't take a QB in the first. They waited until the second. And did they get their guy? This is your Sam Darnold replacement. Darnold, of course, will be going into the final year of his contract. They're looking for a developmental quarterback. And Mick Scharf is developmental. But some say he was carried by some elite wide receiver play. Is he truly a round 1 talent, or was he just a guy that was thrown at some great players? Colts at 36. Take Wyatt Bass, Sam linebacker. Jags at 37. Take Jared Byrne, and we are on the clock at 38. We've got some options here. It's not exactly the best safety spot. We could consider a running back. I like Bashal Tutin. Walt McCoy can really run, though, but do we already kind of have that with Bashal Tutin? I'm not really sure running back is what we're going to do here at 38 with some other needs. I definitely like the ability. Lamar Peel, I didn't even think would be here. He's got decent speed, great acceleration. A juke move is the standout ability for Lamar Peel. And then Walt McCoy, 5'10", 230 from Arizona. Is this our next Kadeem Carey? Anyone remember him from Arizona? A, ball carrier vision. B, break tackle carrying and catching. Got elite jumping. Decent acceleration, good speed, but ran apparently in the 4.3s. D, juke move. C, spin move. I think I might gravitate more towards a wide receiver. Cordell Nelson in the slot. Elite acceleration, elite agility, great speed. Ran 4.27 at his pro day. He's got a great ability to return kicks. I wonder about his short to medium route running for the slot, though. looks like more of an outside player. And I could consider a trade down, but the value that we would get back for this pick would not be a lot. Remember, we don't have Elijah Moore anymore. This would be a very developmental player. It'd be speed over almost anything else. But that's what we're going to do today. Cordell Nelson out of Texas A&M will be the selection. And that has brought Roger Goodell back out to the podium to announce the pick. You can see we love it. We love the player. Coach Gene Dangus makes the shots, calls the shots, make the plays, makes the calls. Can barely speak English. He is the number 23 player in the draft. We got him at 38. Did not drop a pass at the combine. Tracks and secures ball with defenders closing in. Excels running post, corner, and other deep routes. He is potentially a star for us. Cordell Nelson can play. What will he be able to do in the short and intermediate areas of the field? That's a bit more of a question. The short route running, not great. Medium route running, questionable at best. But his ability to get down the field, stretch the field, and make plays, even especially after the catch, is really encouraging. And you'll notice the trend of the offseason and now the draft. Speed, speed, speed. We want more speed. We want to be able to run away from these defensive backs. We want to be able to make plays. We're going trips. The Alvin Kamara era may be over, but the Cordell Nelson era could just be beginning. He's got normal dev, but 97 acceleration, 96 agility, 86 change of direction, 86 jumping. We'll see if we can develop him, but he's a potentially fun option. Panthers go with Doug Riddick. Browns with Matthew Callaway. We don't actually pick for a little bit here. And I'm not even sure if we're going to be that excited about anybody else that's available. We could potentially consider a trade up for Walt McCoy, but again, I just feel like we don't need running back that badly. But the rest of these players are just not that exciting. Chargers go with Jamie Gomez. Rams go Jason Peoples, not to be confused with Jaguars legend Dennis Peoples. Titans go with the running back Lamar Peel. Cardinals go Mateo Felix. Ravens go Cody Freeman. Titans back up again. Go with quarterback Freddie Nixon. Joey Valdez is the highest rated safety still here. I just question if he's a big enough upgrade over Malik Mustafa. And of course, obviously, we'd have to trade up to go get him. But it's an option. It's certainly an option. Walt McCoy goes to Philadelphia. The Bengals take wide receiver Gavin Neal. The Falcons take an edge rusher, Justice Frazier. Commanders take cornerback Zach Hewitt. The Texans go with wide receiver Sal Jimenez. Lamar Dawson, another running back off the board here in the second round, heads to Pittsburgh. The Cowboys take linebacker Tim McDowell. The Bears with defensive tackle DeMarcus Bullough. The Jets land quarterback Eric Walker. Guess that's their Justin Fields replacement. Cornerback Denzel Greer is a Buffalo Bill. The Lions take corner Sergio Hurst. The Niners, cornerback Jamal Whitaker. We are coming up to the end of the second round. Steven Zeitler, wide receiver, Tyler Lockett replacement, offensive player of the year replacement. Going to the Broncos. Another running back. The Chiefs grab Leo Van Buren. And the last pick of the second round is Enrique Geraldo. Our next pick is at number 81. The Giants go safety Aiden Hillman. Dante Bias is a Dolphin. 2 safeties off the board to start this third round. Channing Robinson, a tight end, is a Seahawk. And back-to-back tight ends. Ernie Crawford to the Colts after just getting Tyler Warren. Jags take Daquan Allen. And Joey Valdez is sticking on the board. He doesn't look incredible, but he doesn't look awful. We don't really know about the coverage too much. And, I mean, safety is currently a need. We have some UDFA players on the board. I mean, Ronald Tulloch is also a decent option. Starter potential, maybe. I mean, I really don't mind the look of Valdez. I think I'd be happy with really any of those safeties if we were to stick and pick. On our favorites list here, we do have a running back on the board, but it's mainly UDFA type talents. See what the Patriots do. There goes Joey Valdez. It takes that out of play, and Ronald Tulloch is next. Back-to-back safeties. We're going to simulate to our pick here at 81. And I'm just not thrilled with the current available talent. The available corners are also not especially good. Lorenzo Snell is interesting. He's got B press, C zone coverage. He really looks more like a safety to me. A tackle. I mean, it's interesting, if nothing else. Lance Haskins is a very similar build here. Much faster. But we might be hitting the trade market here. Looking to trade away a third-round pick and maybe Tyler Shuck in order to land a starting safety. Let's make some calls. The next trade we are making is sending Tyler Shuck to the Rams. The Rams were one of 2 teams with any interest in Shuck. They had yellow interest. And they need a quarterback. It was at the top of their list. They're trying to take a chance on Tyler Shuck. He's got a couple of years left on his contract. We were sending our third-round pick away to get Cam Kinchins and a 2028 2. I'm pretty happy with the trade personally. Kinchins can start potentially at strong safety. That's why we made that trade. Tyler Shuck really had no chance to be a starter. We drafted his replacement. I prefer LaMichael Meekins as a backup. And we get a second-round pick next year. Because, remember now, we do not have a first-round pick in 2028. We traded it away to land number 14, or land number 6, I should say. So we have ammo to trade up into the first round next year if we want to do that, but we'll see what happens. Not going to make any type of statement about what's going to happen in the 2028 draft during the 2027 draft as we simulate to our next pick, which is in round 6. There are some good UDFA targets, in my opinion, but I don't want to wait for them to go undrafted. Want to lock them in here, and these menus are unreal slow right now. But there's some good athletes here. There's even a safety. B hit power, C tackle. Good athlete. Don't know if I feel good about him starting, but any of these guys could be worth drafting. If we wanted a running back, I like the look of Nicholas Morales out of Villanova. He ran pretty well. He's got A stiff arm, A trucking. I think we're going to get another running back in the room. Nicholas Morales is the guy. He's ranked at number 71. We got him at 177. Consistently breaks tackles, limits fumbles, loves running over defenders. He's got only normal development, but that's good value. 89 speed, 90 acceleration, 86 agility at 233 pounds, 83 strength. Not a bad 6th round pick for a player expected to go undrafted. And I don't think 89 speed is that slow for a running back as we prepare for our final pick in this draft. And I feel like it should be DeAndre Highsmith, but Jordan Drake is intriguing. 6'2", 190. Press and zone are awful, but he's good in man, and he ran well. 4.33 at his pro day. Can tackle. That's a real developmental type player. We could also consider a defensive tackle. DeAndre Highsmith out of Oregon. Ran in the 4.7s, has elite speed, great acceleration, good finesse moves. He's not going to be much of a run defender probably, but see, block shed's not the worst. We have a kicker and a punter, so I'm not really going to go that direction. I don't know how he would see the field is the thing, but we're going to take him. DeAndre Highsmith, to me, looks like about the best player available, and he's not really. He's ranked number 219. We got him at 209. 80 speed at defensive tackle is crazy, but he might be a bit of a tweener. And that will be our 2027 NFL draft. I think we did pretty well. Kevin Winston got traded. That would have been somebody I was considering if we wanted to go out and make a move for a safety. And this is what the board looks like. Dalvin Edison is a 73 overall with hidden dev. I like the look. 92 throw power, 82 deep accuracy, 73 medium, 86 short with 87 throw on the run, 80 play action, 80 throw under pressure, 81 break sack. He can move a little bit. He's not going to be LaMichael Meekins back there, but he's also a significantly better passer than LaMichael Meekins. I'm pretty happy with this pick. He's only 21 years old. That's a pretty good pickup. Nate Kovacs. Hidden dev as well. Of course, these numbers and equipment and everything will be changed. He's not going to wear number 60. But the 22-year-old rookie out of Clemson has 83 finesse moves. That's pretty good to start. Definitely don't mind what we're seeing here. Block shed has a ways to go. That's okay. Cordell Nelson is a 75. That's not bad in round 2. Unfortunately, only normal development. But 94 speed, 97 acceleration, 96 agility, 81 juke, 84 spin move. He can return kicks if we wanted him to do that. His catching is already good. And his route running is actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Normal dev is a bit disappointing, but that's really not bad. Nicholas Morales also normal dev, but got him in round 6. 71 overall power back with 86 trucking. 80 juke move even. Spin move is not good. But this is a really good 6th round power back. I know we have a lot of depth at running back right now, but I can't really speak to those guys in the future. I think Highsmith is like whatever. But I think Morales will be around. Let's see what we missed out on. Chad Bueller was an 82 overall. He looked very good, and he is. 88 strength, 85 finesse moves, 82 speed, 93 hit power. Goodness. Chad Bueller is going to help out the Giants. That's for sure. Cardarius Young is an 80 overall left guard going to the Texans. DeBar Beasley was a 79. Colt Alexander was a 78. And Eddie Herrera was a 78 at defensive tackle. So we were wondering where all the top 5 talents were. We were never going to draft any of these guys, except for maybe DeMar Beasley. I did consider it, but decided in the end that cornerback was not as big of a need for us. The other quarterbacks, Roger Patterson was a 71. Lester Bowers was a 71. We got the 73. Sam Paulson was a 68. Josh Nance was a 72. Normal Dev, even though he's got 95 throw power. And then we didn't see a quarterback go for a while. 72 for Mick Scharf. It's pretty good, actually. 63 for Freddie Nixon. And 65 for Eric Walker. Ugh. Some good tight ends, though, as always. Definitely looked really good. Kovacs was quite good. Lamar Peel would have been a 77. That would have been great value. Manny Chavez was a 77. Moreno was a 76. It's like right where Eric Benedict was. But this is also right where Cordell Nelson is. So I'm not really that mad about that. It's just the dev trade I wish was better. There's a great left guard, Julian Hall. And the Texans got 2 starting guards in this draft. One in the first, one in the 6th. There's Cordell Nelson. Enrique Sheridan was right there. Aiden Hillman was actually a very good value free safety, but 85 speed just doesn't play when you're actually playing the games, unfortunately. Josh Contreras, great value D tackle, of course, a nose tackle in the 7th. Where was this running back? Walt McCoy. Everyone wanted Walt McCoy. He was a 74 overall with hidden dev. He looks really good. He's really well-rounded. 88 agility. A little bit faster. Here's what I'll say before seeing the dev trait, though. Would you rather have Walt McCoy in round 2 and no Cordell Nelson, or Cordell Nelson and Nicholas Morales, who we got in the 6th? He's got star dev. So if I had to redo it again, I would very easily do what we did. Very easily. Take the potentially electric receiver and get a backup running back in the 6th, who in my opinion is comparable. I mean, this is the guy that everyone apparently doesn't really like. What is the big difference? Spin move is higher and speed +3. I'll take Morales in the 6th any day. He's got 86 agility. We already have Bashal Tutin. And, of course, Kamara and Kendre Miller. If I had to do it again, I would do the exact same thing. But maybe you guys would do something different. But I'm pretty happy with the way the draft went. I don't know if Wanye Morris is going to end up playing. I don't know why Cesar Ruiz keeps going to backup. I don't understand that. And then Kinchin's at strong safety, a little bit slow, but really good in coverage, really good coming downhill. And with playing strong safety, ideally we're going to ask him to play a lot in the box and not cover single high. So I think his fit at strong safety for us is going to be a lot better than free safety would be. So I'm not that mad about that trade either. And again, I think we got better today, which is what you want. We had 2 first-round picks. I think we got better. So I'm excited to see what this team ends up looking like going into year 3, 2027. We want to be a playoff team. I'm not going to outright name Dalvin Edison the starter. LaMichael Meekins was here last year, but I will tell you, we didn't draft him in the top 10 to be a backup for his career. So that's going to do it for this video, this offseason. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're excited for 2027, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.